Hello guys, and a very Merry Christmas to you. I hope you had a lovely time. My name is Marcus and I have been on a bit of a learning journey. I've been learning various programming languages. I'm currently on Python and I'm doing the CS50P course. I'll link the playlist to that down below. It's the Harvard one. Really great, and I really recommend you do it if you're interested in learning Python. I've been doing a learn with me course thing as well. So as I've been doing that, I've also been recording and going along with you. So if you want to come along on the journey with me, then please feel free to check out the playlist, which will be just here. And in this video specifically, this is a code with me. So with the 001 code with me, I started creating a very simple code, and once again that will be just here as well. So if you want to check that out before you start watching this video, then please feel free. And in this video, I'm going to be essentially trying to finish that piece of code off. It's a really simple program that I'm trying to do, but it's just to get my head around it and hopefully learn with you as I make mistakes. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Okie dokie, so here we are. When I reviewed the last video, I noticed that the text looked quite small, so I've increased the size of it. Hopefully you can see that a bit better this time around. So let's just have a quick reminder of what we're doing. So we're getting the user file name input in the command line. If the file does not equal CSV, then sysexit. And if the file does not exist, sysexit. So that's what we've done already. Confirm file name with user. Then we want to ask user how many new lines to add. So that's going to be a loop, if I remember rightly. This is what I was doing. I was making this up on the fly. It was just something to sort of test my knowledge. Ask user for new lines, which again will be a loop depending on how many new lines to add. And confirm new lines to add to the CSV file. Okay, so this goes on from the file IO lecture with the CS50P course. So let's have a look at the code I've got at the moment. I'm importing sys and I'm importing CSV. I've not used CSV just yet. You can tell by its grayed out slightly there. Define main if length of CSV, sys.argv is not equal to 2. So that would essentially be if I do Python and then the name of the file which is add to list. So that'll be 0. Well, that'll be 1, sorry. So the length will be 1, but that'll be at position 0 is what I mean. So then I want to add another program name like list.csv. So that should work. That should run through once I go through it. But if it was something like that, then it shouldn't work because it's not equal to 2. List.csv does equal 2. So let's come down. So if it is not equal to sysexit with not enough command line arguments. So let's try it with list.csv and then another list.csv. So not enough command line arguments. Interesting. So I need to change that slightly because it's not enough, but actually it's too many. So I need to change that to if it's less than 2, sys.exit, not enough command line arguments. And then I need to do an elif. And I'm just going to borrow that lot. And we need to change that to more than 2. Then we want to change that to too many command line arguments. So now when we run this, that should be too many. Yep. And if I run that and get rid of the 2 lists, not enough. Bro. However, if I do it as list.csv, what happens? Oh, I remember. Yeah, so it started to do a weird loop thing, didn't it? So let's try that then. Let's keep going. So that works so far. Else, and then we're running a function. Is that right? No, sorry. What am I talking about? Sys.argv position 1, which is the that's going to be the file name, the input file name, and we're lowering it and we're putting it in a variable called CSV file name. Right, with it so far. Then file name equals then we've got a function, check file, CSV, and we're passing through CSV file name. So in check file, what have we got? So check file, file name lower equals file name, the last three. Okay, so this is interesting. I was doing with the CSV 50p course that I'm doing at the moment. They also have little projects that you do, and the one that I've just done, I was reading through the documentation and I found out that you can actually basically get the file extension. So I'm just going to go and find that now because I can't quite remember what it was. Okay, so here it is. It's os.path.splitext and then in brackets the path. So I can actually get rid of this. I can neaten this up a little bit already. I think so. If I do, just going to start something new called file. Tell you what, I've got an FN there. So if I do FN and then with extension, kind of makes sense to me. File name with extension. Then I'm sure there's going to be an easier way to tidy this up in a bit, but I just need to sort of like plan it out in my head and make sure it works before I start neating it out. We need to do os path, but we also need to import. Do we need to import os? Right, I'm going to do that. So I need to come up to the top and import os. And then where were we? So there we are. So os dot, what was it? Path dot, and then it's split. And I thought it was split text when I first read it, but it's not. It's split ext for split extension. So there you go. The more you know, the more you know. Right, so then it's the path. So the path we want to put in is the sys.argv1. So now if I print fn.we, that should give me, no, not w, sorry, not dot, underscore, there we go. So Python add to list, that'll be the first, and then list will be the second, so it should equal 2. So it should run through, it should create this, and we should get a list or a tuple. I'm not entirely sure what the difference is. I need to look into that because I'm not entirely sure what a tuple is or a tuple or whatever it's called. Let's have a look. Oh, it's broken. Right, so what we got? Module has no attribute. Spit text. There we go. Okay, right. Split text, there we go. Bro, okay, so that's now separated the extension. So now I can create file extension equals fn underscore we at position 1. So now I can get rid of that because that is essentially saying the same thing. And then if we want to change that to file extension does not equal .csv, because it does, yeah. If it doesn't, if it does not equal .csv, then sysexit. So let's come out of that. Oops, Control C. And let's run that again. So it does run it. So yeah, that's running through fine. So we can now get rid of that print because we don't need that. Don't want to confuse ourselves. And then it's still running through, so that's good. Just cancel that. And now I want to change that to list.png. Not a CSV file. Perfect. So that's working as expected. So let's carry on going down. If file extension does not equal .csv, exit with that. Else, try to open the file name. And file name is, if I come back out into here, main file name is going to be this one, because that's what we're plugging into it. So CSV file is just the first one. Okay, that makes sense. So try and open it. If it doesn't exist, or if it doesn't open, if it comes up with a exception of file not found error, then sysexit file does not exist. So that's good. That's why that come up. Now if I do, so CSV, so that one is correct. And if I come here to add to without the I, so add to list without the I, can't open file. Ah, of course. So that maybe that's not right then. Maybe it needs to equal. Yeah, no, I've been doing this whole thing wrong, very slightly. So it needs to be less than 3 or greater than 3, because what we need is not that CSV. Is that right? We want to add it to the list. Yeah, no, we just want to open it. No, I was right. That is, sorry, ignore that last little bit. So, but we want to check to make sure that exists, don't we? I think. I don't even know what I'm doing with my own program. So define check file, and open file name. So I think what I might do, let's have a look up here then. No, that is right, yeah. So sysarg v1. Yeah, no, I am right. That's position 1. So that would be list.csv. Yeah, cool, okay. So what did that come back with then? Can't open it. That's because I didn't change. Right, okay, so I need to change that one, because obviously it's trying to open that. And if I change that, then there's no file called that, which makes sense. It's not going to run the program. However, this code, where are we? If we come here, we're trying to open this one. And if it doesn't open, then we want to sysexit. File does not exist. Right, we're there. We're back in business. Else return file name. So essentially, I'm not sure why I did that. I'm sure there's probably a reason. Maybe I could just pass it. I don't think I need to return it, do I? Oh, else. Pass. There we go. So then we come back out. Would it be pass or continue? I've seen some people put continue, but I don't really know what the difference between pass and continue is. I thought pass basically just essentially continued the code. If you know, please feel free to pop it in the comments. I will have to have a look at that at some point. Right, anyway, so we're moving on now. So that's what we've just done. The next one is confirmation equals confirm file name, as that is a function. So we want to go down to that because we're passing through. No, so yeah, we want to get rid of that because we're not actually returning anything. And we want to pass that through. Otherwise, we're just making a whole mess of things, aren't we? CSV file name. And now we need to go down to this function, confirm. So confirm equals input is the name correct. So if I put yes, so this is the bit where it started to loop, wasn't it? So let's go list. And is list correct? Yes. Success. Was it not that bit that was looping? I can't remember. And if I say no, oops, would you like to try again? Yeah, so that's the bit that looped. Rightio. So if confirm equals yes or confirm equals yes, or y, or y or yes, return true. So then that will just pop out. Else if, so if it doesn't do that, confirm. So if confirm equals n or no, input, oops, would you like to try that again? And then if the answer to that is yes, pass. So why is it looping? Is it just because I've created a weird... Oh, while true, because we're in a while true loop. So that's what's happening there. It's going to here, boom, but confirm, or conf, is still, the variable is still equal to n or no. So it's just going to keep doing that. So that's why that's looping. So how do we go about that then? Okay, my brain is hurting a little bit with this, so I am gonna comment this section out for a minute and start writing this code again. So basically what I want to say here is I want to get confirmation. So hold on, let's come back up here and confirm. Let's cut that. And I want to paste that into this section here. Right, so yeah, in here, I want to say if conf is equal to y, or conf is equal to yes, and it's fine that we're doing that lowercase because we're making it lower here. So if conf is equal to y or conf is equal to yes, then we just want to return true. So that's the same as before. Elif conf is equal to n, or conf is equal to no. Then what do we want to do? I'll tell you what we could do. We could return it as false. So when it comes out to the main program, is that going to make it messy though? So we could say something like in the main program, if confirmation is equal to false, then we want to run this again. Is that going to work? So then that wants to be an elif. So if confirmation is equal to true, we're just going to print success for now. Else if confirmation is equal to false, then we want to rerun the function and then reassign the variable. And then we've just got that as a, do we want to sysexit it instead? Oh gosh, my fat fingers. Right, so let's go back down to here then. And we can return false. Ooh. So if confirmation is equal to yes, then return true. If it's equal to no, return false. But do we want to ask, so retry, create a new variable called retry, and we equal that to input of would you like to try again, and then we make that lower case. And then we want to say if retry is equal to y, or retry is equal to yes, then returning false doesn't seem right. I don't feel like I should return false if they're saying yes. So should I return retry? Would that make sense? And then we can come back up here and say else if confirmation is equal to retry. And then we can say elif retry is equal to n, or retry is equal to no. Then we want to sysexit, and we want to say something along the lines of retry again when you're ready. I'll just take that. So I think it's starting to make a bit more sense now. It might be a bit messy though, so there's probably a much better way of doing this. But essentially what I'm saying is it right? And if it is, then it returns true, so we can carry on with the code. If it's not, then ask if they would like to try again. If they say yes, then return retry. So then we go back out of here, and then if confirmation is equal to retry, then we're running that same function again. So that's essentially looping that until it works, I think. And then if it's no, then we just sysexit. And then, so now we need to come back out into this main if statement. So if it's equal to yes, return true. If it's equal to no, then ask all of that. So else, we could essentially do the same thing, couldn't we? So else, and I'm just going to copy this line by line to make sure that we don't mess up. Retry equals input of oops, that doesn't seem right. Would you like to try that again? And then, so then it's just the same, isn't it? So if they answer yes, then return retry, so then it loops back around again. Else if retry is equal to no, or retry is equal to n, then sysexit. So I want to essentially copy all of that, and that should be that. So now the only reason why that should sysexit is if they say no to any of it. So let's try that. So is list correct? Y, success, brilliant, so that's working. Yes, and that's working. So now if I do n, would you like to try that again? N, try again when you're ready, so that's working. And then if I say no, that does the same thing, no, does the same thing, so that's all good. And now, moment of truth, so no, it's not correct. Would you like to try it again? Yes. Okay. So that's working in a sense, but it's just asking the same thing. Okay, so we need to relook at that. God, this doesn't have to get confusing if you have a little brain like I do. So get user file name, I'm going to cut that. And that wants to be in there. So get user file name, input command line. So I mean, that doesn't really, I'm just going to put that in the main one because that doesn't fit anywhere else. Then if the file does not exist, sysexit. So that wants to come out of there and come down to there. Okay, so where are we at now then? Can't wait for this just to be so easy for me. Would you like to retry? So at this point, we can return retry, and then we can create a new function then, can't we? I think. So if confirmation is equal to retry, would that make sense? So we're asking initially with one function, and if it's not, then we're asking we want to ask them to put their own one in that is correct. So would that make sense to do it that way around, or would it make more sense to do that first before going through any of the other stuff? Because if they type in list.cv instead of CSV, then they have an opportunity to correct it before it exits. I think that would make more sense to do that first, wouldn't it? So CSV file name is that. So I think I want to put that underneath, because that's the code that's confirming. So I'm going to cut that. And I want to put that there. So essentially what we're doing now is we're creating a variable sysargv1, making it lowercase, and then we're running the function confirm fn. And to make things easier for myself later, I'm also going to cut that and put that into the correct space down here. Hang on. Let's do it after that code just in case what I've done doesn't work. So now we are going to return retry, which will be these. So then if, where are we? If retry, no, where are we? We're too low down. If confirmation is equal to retry, then confirm file name. I'm gonna change that to retry file name. Retry file name. I'm gonna pass it. Do I want to pass in anything? I don't think I do I? And I'm going to change that as well. Do I want to change that? Yeah, it's starting to get a bit confusing now, isn't it? Elif confirmation is equal to retry. Confirmation. Do I want to change that variable name to stop it from getting confusing? Do I want to have a separate variable name? Right, so first of all, I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to focus on this new function. So retry fn. And I want to do that under confirm. I don't know if any of this is going to work. But hey, that's why we're here. Essentially, what I want to do is the same kind of stuff. So right, so I want to get an input. So the variable I'm going to call new file name is equal to input. And I want to say, please input the correct file name, like so. And then now I want to check. So we can come back up here and we can copy this code. So confirmation input. And in fact, what I'm going to do, I know you're not supposed to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to copy that whole bit and come in here, paste that, and then just go through this line by line. So conf is new underscore fn the correct file name? And then if it is, return true. If it's no, retry. Would you like to retry again? Return retry. And then at that point, it's going to come out. But then nothing's going to happen because we can't indefinitely do that. We would need a loop. Gonna have to overthink about that one, because I think maybe if we could do something like while confirmation does not equal true, then do this. Yeah, let's try that. So, because then we would want confirmation. Would want that to be confirmation. So let's change the if statement. So while confirmation does not equal true. I think that makes sense. Oop. So while confirmation does not equal true, we want to just keep running that. But then what's that? Check file. While confirmation does not equal true, it's going to do that. So then when that does return true, it's going to pop out and go on to the next thing. I think that makes sense. In my head, that does make sense. This is where I think I need a diagram of some sort, because it's starting to get a bit confusing in my head. And if it's getting confusing in my head, it must be getting confusing to you as well. So I do apologise. So where are we? We need to go through this line by line. So if is new file name correct? Yes, return true. So then that would then carry on the code. Else if confirmation is equal to no, would you like to try that again? If retry is equal to yes, return retry. So it's returning retry, but because we've changed that now to a while loop, that isn't really going to do anything, because as long as it doesn't return true. Do you know what? I'm just going to try and see what happens, because I think that's making sense. So is it correct? Yes. And then check file name. And then what I want to do is create a new function called add file. Here we go now then, because if they do change it, then confirmation is going to be that. So we need to, this is going to be confusing now, because check file is equal to CSV file name. CSV file name is sysarg1, so that's actually going to skip that altogether. I really needed to make a diagram or something before I started doing this. It was supposed to be something quick and fun and easy, but never mind. So CSV file name is equal to that. Confirmation, we're confirming the file name. While confirmation does not equal true, keep going round. So let's just see if that works. So would you like to try that again? Yes. Please input the correct file name. So that's what I can find so far. List.csv. Is that correct? Yes. Name error. So what line is that? Line 23. Oh, it's because I haven't defined it yet. Define add file. My brain just shoots all over the place. I do apologise if this is confusing. It's just I see something, it's like, oh yeah, I need to fix that first, even if I'm in the middle of something. So define add file name, and I'm just going to print success again. Ooh, need to do it in quotes. There we go. Let's clear that, and I want to run again. So no, would you like to try that again? Yes. And then list.csv again. Yes. Success. Right, okay, cool. So that's working fine now. We are getting there. It is making sense in a sense. But what we want to do though is we want to return that as the new file name, don't we? If that's what we need to do. We need to, where are we? Check file name. No, come up here. Retry file name. So if it's return true, how can we do that then? So basically what we need to do is get the new file name out into its own variable. Could I, so confirmation would be true. Could I do something like new file name? And then come down here, and where it says true, return true, I also want to return the new file name. Would that work? And then add file, and I want to pass through the new file name. And file name print success. I'm going to do this as a f string success, and then fn has been updated. There we go. So no, would you like to try that again? Yes. And I'm going to put lst.csv to make sure. And then that is correct. Success. Brilliant. So that works. Amazing. So you can return two variables. That's really interesting. I've not done that before. So I'm glad I tried that because that works. So basically, just to recap what I've just done, in case you missed it, in case I didn't explain it very well, which I know I didn't, in the retry file name function, we're asking them to input a new file name, and we're assigning that to a variable called new file name or new fn. Then we're just doing the same thing again. So we're confirming is new file name the correct file name. If it is, then return true, and we're also returning the new file name. And because the first one true, if we come back out of that, the first one is confirmation. So confirmation will be equal to true. So while confirmation does not equal true, it does equal true now, so it's coming out. But it's also assigning the new file name with the new file name from that one. So I hope that's making sense to you. It does make sense to me, thank God. I'm glad something does finally. Something's sinking in. Else if confirm is equal to n or conf is equal to no, retry input, would you like to try that again? Retry is equal to yes, return retry. So it doesn't equal true. Sorry, confirmation does not equal true. So it's going to run that again, and it's going to indefinitely do that indefinitely until it does come out as true. Else if retry is equal to n or it's no, sysexit, try again when you're ready. So that works fine still. Else, so that's coming out into this one. So the initial one, if confirmation is yes, confirmation is no. Else if, so basically if they put y or something, retry is equal to input. Oops, that doesn't seem right. Would you like to try that again? If retry is equal to that, else if, I think that's making sense. I think we've done it. So if I say no to that, and then would you like to try that again? And I'm going to put Y. Please input the correct file. Ah, okay. So that's not working. So where did we get to then? We got to, is it the correct file name? Creating a variable, so that's easy. Confirmation equals confirm function. So confirm function, confirm file name. And then is it the correct? And I put no. So if it's no, would you like to try again? And I put Y. LF retry. Right, okay. So if retry is equal to yes, then return retry. Else if retry is equal to no, then sysexit. And in here, I now want to say else. So basically, if anything else is said that's not Y, yes, N, or no, we can just sysexit dot exit. And I may change this up a bit later again. Oops. Something went wrong. And then once again, copy that and paste that in. Try again when you're ready. So let's try that again then, because I am ready. Is list CSV the correct file name? No. Would you like to try again? Why? Oops, something went wrong. Try that again when you're ready. Brill. So, no, it's not. Would you like to try that again? Yes, I would. And then fish.scv. Is fish.scv the correct file name? No, it's not. Would you like to try that again? Yes, I would. Broken it. Okay, cool. Too many values to unpack. Okay, so line 21. We're talking about this one. So this is the new variable that we just created. God, it gets confusing, doesn't it? I think I'm probably just confusing matters myself, to be honest. And then before that, it's line 96. So, boom, 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 boom. This is probably the most in-depth thing I've created. Oh, that's just main. Yeah. So line 21 is retry file name. Input, please input the correct file name. So why is it doing that then? New file name. Not entirely sure why it's doing that. Because it's returning true into confirmation, and it's returning new file name into new file name. So what did I do? I said, is list.csv the correct file name? So that's the initial one, isn't it? And I put no. So at that point, it said, would you like to retry? Yeah, would you like to try again? Yes. So then return retry. So I'll come back out of here. Retry does not equal true, so then it runs retry file name, and we come down to retry file name, new file name, so I inputted that one. That's there. And then is that the correct file name? So that's line there. And I put no to that. So it comes to here, retry equals input, would you like to try that again? And I'll put yes. And if retry is equal to yes, return retry. And then we got the error. So that returns retry. And we were at this one here. Okay, so why is it doing that then? Not sure why it's doing that. Let's try confirmation and new fn equals, and I'm just going to do make them empty strings. Don't know if that's going to work, but I want to try it again. So it's not, would you like to try that again? Yes. And then please input the correct file name, .png. And no, it's not. And would you like to try that again? Yes. And it's still doing the same thing. So that does not work. I think I'm going to need to do a bit of research on this because I have no idea what's going on. I think I've got a feeling it might be having multiple. It's saying that it's too many to unpack, but it's not saying how many there are. It's saying that it's expecting 2, because that makes sense because there's 2 variables created there. But it's not saying how many it's trying to unpack. And if it said that, I might have a bit of an idea, because I reckon it's trying to unpack 4 at that point, because we'll have true, and then the first one, which in this instance was sdh.png. Is that right? No, that'll be the second one. So confirmation will be true, then the first one will be, I have no idea actually. I have absolutely no idea, because we've only put in 1, haven't we? Okay, yep. Well, I think I'm going to have to call it a day there, and have a bit of a screen break. But if you know why this is happening, please let me know, because as always, it will help other people who are watching this as well, and who are also stuck on this. But I've got a feeling it's because it's trying to send out too many, trying to return too many strings or items or whatever they're called to put into these variables, because there's only 2 variables. I'm not too sure. Would it work to do a list instead? No, that's going to make things confusing. No, ignore that. Right, yeah, I'm going to call it a day there, and I'm going to have a look into this to try and get my head around it a bit more. So there we have it. That is the end of this video. This is number 3 in the Code With Me series. There's a few things there that I need to try and get my head around because I'm not entirely sure why it's doing that, what it's doing. So I need to do a bit of research. As ever, as I already said, if you do know yourself why it's doing what it's doing, please feel free to pop it in the comments. I'd love to hear what you have to say, and I'm sure other people who are also learning Python or programming in general would also love to read what you say as well. I'm going to do a bit of research in the background alongside finishing the problem sets in the CS50P course. So fingers crossed that'll be done soon. I think I'm quite close to doing that. And then I'm probably going to go back to doing the Learn With Me, so that'll be the next installment of the CS50P course, which I think is expressions. Have I already done expressions? I can't remember. Yeah, I've done. I can't remember what it is. But anyway, we'll be doing that anyway. So I'd love to have you along for that. Once again, a very Merry Christmas for those that celebrate it, and I wish you all a very, very happy new year. Hopefully 2024 brings you very much happiness. That's it from me, so I'll see you in the next video. See ya, bye.